Somebody told me recently that the pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet is R. So anyway, there's a lot of pirate jokes that float around. Not a whole lot of Christian pirates around, so I'm about the only one. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. When I went to the when I came out of the hospital, and the first kids looked at me and said, "Look, Mommy, there's a pirate." I didn't realize what the Lord had in store for me. Years ago, growing up, I always wanted a nickname. Never had one. I tried to start several of my own, but they never caught on. And then a few years back, I went to the eye doctor just to get a pair of glasses. Thought I was getting to that age, and he looked into my right eye, everything checked out fine, looked into my left eye, and found a little tiny speck. He said, "I don't know what that thing is, and you're going to have to have surgery to find out what it is." And so they took me into the operating room, and he said, "If that little speck is something you inherited, you'll wake up with just a sore, bloodshot left eye. But if it's cancer, when you wake up, your left eye is going to be gone." Well, I came to that day, and my wife was there with me, the beautiful young lady. That's not my daughter, that is my wife. And lots of people say, how come you're so... I see my hair as still being blonde. I don't know why, but I look in the mirror and it still looks blonde to me. And they say, "How come you're gray and she's not?" And I don't know. I haven't figured that out either yet. But anyway, came out of the hospital. Shelley was there and said, "They did take your left eye." But as soon as I came out, everywhere I went, kids called me a pirate. And every now and then I have somebody write to me or call me and say, "Why in the world, if you're going to choose a character, why did you choose a pirate? They're a nasty bunch." And I didn't choose it. But it's funny, everywhere you go, if you have a pirate patch, you're a pirate whether you want to be or not. So I realized I was either going to have to spend the rest of my life saying, "I'm not a pirate," or just say, "Yeah, I am a pirate. You can call me Patch the Pirate." Well, I told our kids that after I got back home at our church, and they came running down to the front just after I told them. The week after I got out of the hospital, "Ahoy, Patch the Pirate," and I've been Patch the Pirate ever since. But God has been good. He took something that looked like it was going to be a difficult thing and literally changed it into one of the greatest blessings of our lives. We wrote our first Patch the Pirate recording thinking that would be it. And shortly after it was out, it was actually something called a record. Have any of you heard of a record? A big black thing with a hole in the middle. It was, we had records and 8-tracks and cassettes and CDs, and I don't know, now the CDs are, who knows what's next. But anyway, we wrote our first Patch the Pirate adventure on a record, and after a little bit, we thought that would be our only venture for kids. And after a little bit, kids said, "Make us another one." And the parents were saying, "You've got to make us another one. We are sick and tired of this one." So we've done one a year ever since. God has been good. God has been good. On the second Patched adventure, it was called Patch Goes to Space. Pee-wee gets saved and prays a prayer, and I get letters almost every week or phone calls from, well, now they're adults saying, "I got saved praying that prayer that Pee-wee prayed on Patch Goes to Space." I have missionaries call and missionaries that stop by and say, "I'm on the mission field because God burdened my heart when I was listening to Patch Goes to the Jungle." God has been so, so good. Just after we got out of the hospital, I wanted to write a song just to kind of express how good God had been. And so I sat down with my Bible and opened it to Philippians chapter 4. In the hospital, we had just kind of camped out in the book of Philippians and began to weave together this song just to describe how good God is. We call it "Rejoice in the Lord," and it goes like this. God never moves without purpose or plan. When trying his servant and molding a man, give thanks to the Lord. though your testing seems long. In darkness he giveth a song. Oh, rejoice in the Lord, he makes no mistake. He knoweth the end of each path that I take. For when I am tried and purified, I shall come forth as gold. I could not see through the shadows ahead, so I looked at the cross of my Savior instead. I bowed to the will of the Master that day. Then peace came and tears fled away. Now I can see testing comes from above. God strengthens his children and purges in love. My Father knows best, and I trust in his care. Through purging, more fruit I will bear. Oh, rejoice in the Lord, he makes no mistake. He knoweth the end of each path that I take. For when I am tried and purified, I shall come forth, I shall come forth, I shall come forth.